Welcome to this video lecture of waterborne disease. We had already discussed the physical, chemical and biological parameters. Water quality means the physical, chemical and biological characteristics of the water. Contaminants that may be present in untreated water include microorganisms such as bacteria and viruses. Inorganic contaminants such as salts and metals, pesticides and herbicides, radioactive contaminants, organic chemical contaminants from industrial process and petroleum uses. Water sanitation and hygiene are greatly linked with the health and diseases. Now, what is waterborne disease? Waterborne disease are any illness caused by drinking water which is contaminated by human or animal feces which contain microorganisms. Now, five most common dangerous water related disease which had occurred in India is cholera, hepatitis A and E, typhoid, filariasis, dysentery. Millions and millions of people are died due to them. Now, drinking water is a major source of microbial pathogens in developing countries, and waterborne disease cause more than 2 million deaths and 4 billion cases of diarrhea annually. 9 out of 10 deaths are in children, and virtually all of the deaths are in developing countries. Now, disease related to water can be classified in four parts. That is waterborne disease such as cholera, typhoid, amoebic and bacillus dysentery, diarrheal diseases. It can be classified as water-washed disease such as scabies, trachoma, lice. It can be classified as water-based disease such as schistosomiasis. It can be classified as water-related insect vector disease such as malaria or yellow fever. Now, all those diseases, they can be related to water in these four forms. That is waterborne disease, water-based disease, water-washed disease, and water-related disease. Now, if we again will talk about the waterborne disease only, then disease which are caused by ingestion of water which is contaminated by human or animal excrement which contain pathogenic microorganisms which may include cholera, typhoid, amoebic and bacillus dysentery and other diarrheal disease. Even diarrheal disease can cause due to protozoan or viral or parasitic infection also. But all of them are waterborne disease. When we will talk about them, we have to talk about the disease, the type of infection, the causative organism, the sources, and the general symptoms. Now, in addition to waterborne disease, it can be caused due to the pollution of water with chemicals which are having adverse effect on the health. Some of them are arsenic, fluoride, nitrate from the fertilizer, carcinogenic pesticides such as DDT, then lead from the lead pipes. Heavy metals are there which has to be extracted, chromium, nickel, cyanide, and so on. The list is too long, but they are certain chemicals which are affecting the body of human or the aquatic animals and plants. Now, in the same path, we can discuss about water-related disease, which are caused due to the insect vectors, especially mosquitoes, which breed or feed near the contaminated water. They are not typically associated with lack of access to clean drinking water or the sanitation services. It may include dengue, filariasis, malaria, onchocerciasis, and yellow fever. If we talk about the water-wash disease, then disease caused by poor personal hygiene and skin and eye contact with the contaminated water. They may include scabies, trachoma, typhus, and other flea, lice and tick-borne disease. And what is water-based disease? Disease which are caused by parasites which are found in the intermediate organisms living in the contaminated water, which include schistosomiasis. If we talk about the route of infection, certain examples are given in this slide that most of the time the route of infection is oral. Only few times it is cutaneous or the bite. And from where it is coming? It is coming from the fecus of the human and animal who are infected. The cholera, typhoid, infectious hepatitis, the scabies, all of them are through oral route only. If we discuss about some of them, then suppose that I am talking about hepatitis A. The pathogen is hepatitis A virus, and the symptom is fever, fatigue, stomach pain, nausea, dark urine, jaundice. Now, what is the cause? When we are taking the ready-to-eat food, the fruits and juice, the milk products, the salads, vegetables, sandwiches, water, most of the time, if hepatitis A virus is infecting a person, then the incubation period is of 28 days. In the same way, if I will talk about Vibrio infection, then the pathogen name is Vibrio parahemolycus, that is a bacteria. Now, what is the symptom? Nausea, vomiting, headache. Most of the time, the cause is raw shellfish or oysters. And in 1 to 7 days, the incubation period is completed. So all those diseases are having their incubation period. Now, if you take examples of waterborne pathogens, then for virus, it can be adenovirus, it can be astrovirus, it can be norovirus, it can be coronavirus, not COVID-19. I am talking about coronavirus, which is existing already in our system. We can talk about enterovirus, we can talk about reovirus. Now, for all those, there is certain bad health effect. For example, due to coronavirus, the diarrhea symptom can be there. For adenovirus, the conjunctivitis, diarrhea, respiratory and heart disease can be there. Or due to rotavirus, diarrhea is always there. And that due to enterovirus, the paralytic attack to the human being is seen several times. The respiratory disease, the acute respiratory syndrome can be due to this enterovirus. If we talk about bacteria, then due to E. coli, that gastroenteritis problem, the vomiting problem, the hemolytic uremic syndrome, the dysentery due to Shigella, the diarrhea or cholera due to Vibrio cholera bacteria, all those happens due to the bacteria only, which is a waterborne disease. Or if we take about protozoa, the microspora, it make people the disease of gastroenteritis of milder order, okay, of milder order, but this infection is there. Or entamoeba histolytica, it affected the dysentery. All these bacteria, virus, and protozoa, all of them are waterborne disease. And 80% of the disease which exist in this earth now are of water related disease. Now, disease which are transmitted can be water is divided into two categories. One of them is diarrheal waterborne disease and other one is non-diarrheal waterborne disease. Now, according to this, what are diarrheal waterborne disease? Most waterborne pathogens, they infect the gastrointestinal tract and cause diarrheal disease. The most common cause of severe diarrheal disease are rotavirus or pathogenic E. coli or entamoeba histolytica or Norwalk-like viruses. All of them are making people diarrheal waterborne disease, the patient of diarrheal waterborne disease. Now, if we discuss about the path or pathway, so we can see in this figure that if due to human excreta, if flies are sitting on the human excreta, then these flies are, after sitting on the human excreta, they are going to sit on the food in general. And from this food, they are going to the human being. Or you can say that from human excreta, they are directly going to the soil. And from this soil, they are contaminating the surface water. And from surface water, they are contaminating the groundwater. From surface water, they are going to the in the intestine of fish and shellfish, and the person who is eating these fish are infecting. Or you can say from surface water, when they are going to fruit and vegetable, because we are irrigating the crops by this surface water. Then again, they are going to the humans. Now, in the same way, from human excreta, they are non-waterborne sewage, they are moving. From non-waterborne sewage, they are touching the hand of the other person, and he is going to be infected. From this hand, the food in general can be contaminated, and from food in general, it is going to the humans. Or you can say that waterborne sewage, if the human excreta is going in the latrines, from latrines it is going in the groundwater, and from groundwater it is contaminating the drinking water, which is contaminating the humans. Or you can say that these human excreta, it is contaminating the waterborne sewage, and from waterborne sewage it is contaminating the surface water as well as the groundwater. From surface water, the fish and shellfish is contaminated, and from surface water, the fruit and vegetables are contaminated, and from surface water, drinking water is contaminated. And from there, it is going to human. In the same way, the animal excreta. The animal excreta can go to the soil, it can go to the surface water, it can go to the groundwater. Sometimes the animal products, that is egg of any larva, is also contaminating the food in general. And in the last, the person who is infected by all those diseases is humans. Or you can say the epidemic diarrheal disease. Now, two diarrheal pathogens are there for epidemic diarrheal disease. They are Shigella dysentery or Vibrio cholera. They are particularly infectious and cause severe epidemics. Epidemic diarrhea, both Shigellas and cholera, can be triggered by natural disasters or political upheavals that disrupt the normal water supply. And if we will discuss about non-diarrheal waterborne disease, why most waterborne pathogens cause diarrheal disease. A few important waterborne disease affects other part of the body also, such as typhoid fever is caused by ingestion of Salmonella typhi bacteria in food or water, and it has affected already about 17 million people each year. It has caused 6 million deaths. Or I will discuss about hepatitis, or you can say liver inflammation. It is caused by viral infection, that is A and E. Both are caused by ingestion of fecally contaminated drinking water, and hepatitis A causes about 1.5 million infection each year, and mostly it is infected to the children in most of the cases. Now, polio. It is highly infectious viral disease that mainly affects children under 5. And poliovirus is primarily transmitted through the fecal oral route. Safe water and sanitation interventions can help to reduce this risk. And in the same way, legionellosis. Legionella can grow in the water storage tank, boilers, or in the pipes, which is used to distribute the water. And outbreaks of Legionella disease are rare, but it is very dangerous. Leptospirosis. It is a bacterial disease which is caused due to the ingestion or bodily contact with the water contaminated with the urine of infected animals, especially rats. This disease is very difficult to diagnose and is often overlooked, but it may be important, especially when flooding is there. In the same way, if I will talk about some water-washed disease caused by poor personal hygiene, or you can say skin and eye contact with contaminated water. Now, 4 types of water-washed disease are considered here. That is soil-transmitted helminths, ascariasis, hookworm, and whipworm. Actually, these helminths, they cause about 12,000 deaths each year. Only improved in hygiene and sanitation can reduce the disease incidence. Acute respiratory infection, ARI. It includes pneumonia, and all of us we know that pneumonia are responsible for about 19% of total child every year. There is an increasing body of evidence demonstrating that good hygiene practices, especially hand washing with soap, can significantly reduce the transmission of ARI. And this is used during COVID-19 pandemic also. Now, skin and eye disease, that is trachoma. It is caused due to Chlamydia trachomatis bacteria. It inflames the eyes, and the best control method for trachoma is improve the access to water for face washing, but hygienic water. Ringworm. It is an infectious disease of the skin, scalp, or nails. In spite of the names, the disease is caused due to fungus, that is Tinea corporis. Now, water-based disease. This disease is caused by parasites which are found in intermediate organisms which are living in the contaminated water. That this infection is caused by flatworms called schistosomes, which spend part of their life cycle inside the snail host. People become infected through skin contact with infected water, mainly during fishing and agricultural practices or agricultural activities. Now, this dracunculosis, that is gynoworm disease, it is caused by roundworm. And gynoworm larvae in water bodies are ingested by the cyclops water flea. People become infected by drinking water contaminated with cyclops. The larvae are released in the stomach. They migrate through the intestinal wall and grow to the adult worms. If we talk about water-related disease that are caused due to the insect vectors, especially mosquitoes, which breed or feed near contaminated water. Actually, these diseases are not directly related to drinking water quality. However, consideration of vector control can reduce the potential for water-related disease transmission. The most common vector insects are mosquitoes and fleas. The malaria, the yellow fever, the dengue fever, the filariasis, all of them are due to the vector. Now, fly-borne disease, if I will talk, then river blindness are caused by filarial worm. The West African sleeping sickness, which is caused by a parasite which is known as Trypanosoma bruce. Kala jar, which has affected in Bihar. It is due to leishmaniasis, and Padma Shri Dr. C.P. Thakur has found the medicine for this Kala jar. Lolasis, which is caused by a parasitic worm which is known as Loa loa. If you can understand the reason of water-borne disease or water-related disease or water-washed disease, then you can control them. So to understand these disease, their symptoms, then only the controlling is possible by an environmental engineer. And it is your holy duty to control them by uh, making the conditions hygienic, and or you can say by cleaning the environment. Thank you for your patience listening.